Am I the asshole for announcing our pregnancy at my brother's wedding after he proposed at mine? My brother said he was going to propose at my wedding. I told him no, that it was a day about myself and my wife and we did not want any distractions. My mom lost her shit. She said that he wanted family he might not see again for a while to be a part of the proposal. I said I did not give a shit and that if he did it, Elle would have him kicked out. He did it. And my mom said if I tried kicking him out, she would leave too. I just remember seething inside. My brother got married last weekend. Instead of a welcome to the family toast, I used the time to announce that we were expecting our first baby. My mom was upset, but my grandmother told her to sit down and shut up. We spent most of the reception talking to family we would not see again for a while about our coming baby. My mom says I was an asshole for taking attention away from my brother on his wedding day. She got really mad when I reminded her that she threatened to leave my wedding if I kicked him out after he proposed. I have the screen cap of the text messages.
I won the lottery, $1,000 a day for life. I'm 58. My son is 19. I went to him and told him that I wanted to make a deal. I would give him the ticket. In return, he would give me half of the money until I die. Then he gets all the money. He said he needed to think about it. He came back and said it wasn't really fair for me to want half. He said that I could live another 40 years, that he might need the money more and that I should take 20%. I said I would think about it. I signed the ticket and claimed the lump sum. I'm seeing a lawyer to set my son up for life. His education will be paid for. When he gets older, he will be able to purchase a home for free, basically. A trust fund will be set up so he gets a good amount of money for the rest of his life. Now, he is pissed that I went back on my offer. I thought I was being smart, but I didn't realize how greedy he was. He also told my ex about the money, and she is pissed that I'm not giving her anything. We have been divorced for years. I owe her nothing. No, I won't give you anything if you ask. There is a reason I'm using the throwaway.
Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my vacation days so my coworker can go on her honeymoon? I work at a small company where vacation time is pretty limited, and we have to request it months in advance. I put in my request almost a year ago to take a 2-week vacation during the holidays. My plan was to visit family, who live out of the country, something I only get to do once every few years. Recently, a coworker of mine who's getting married came up to me and asked if I'd be willing to give up my vacation days so she could go on her honeymoon. She apparently didn't realize how quickly the days would fill up and waited too long to request her time off. Now, the only way she can go is if someone cancels, and since I have one of the longest vacation blocks, she came to me first. I told her I was really sorry, but I can't give up my time. This trip means a lot to me, and it's the only time I can see my family this year. She wasn't happy and told me I was being selfish for not accommodating her once-in-a-lifetime event. Now, a few other coworkers are chiming in, suggesting I could be more flexible since I don't have special circumstances like a wedding. I feel bad, but I also planned this trip far in advance, and it's important to me. AITA for not giving up my vacation so she can go on her honeymoon.
I took a shower at midnight while my wife was watching TV. Who's the asshole? My wife was sitting in the recliner watching her iPad right outside the kids' bedrooms. I figure I'm in the clear to take a long shower. When I turn the shower off, I hear my 3-year-old crying and screaming for daddy. I hurry. As I'm going through the family room, I look at my wife sitting watching her iPad and say, "You couldn't calm him down." She says, "No, I tried 3 times. I go into his room and pick him up. He immediately stops crying and starts trying to catch his breath. I feel what I thought were tears dripping down my shoulder. I think poor guy has been so upset for so long enough for my wife to come in 3 times. I lay him in bed and start tucking him in. He says, "I have a mess." I figure tears and snot. I grab wipes and tissue and turn the flashlight on my phone on. That's when I realized he was covered in blood. His first bloody nose, and it was bad all over his face. Arms, clothes, stuffy, blanket, and I'm covered. Those were not tears dripping down my shoulder. I get him cleaned up and ask my wife to shout the bloody items while I get him cleaned up. I'm tucking him in and I ask why he didn't let mommy help. He said, "Mommy didn't check on me. Somebody never checked on me." Now my wife is pissed at me for me expecting her to help. I'm pissed at her for not taking care of her while I'm in the shower and she's watching her iPad, and I'm pissed that she's pissed I expected her to help. Who is the asshole here?
Am I the asshole if I refuse to donate my PTO to a coworker I know will die? I work healthcare and our depth is pretty close-knit. Not much drama or beef, surprisingly. One of our ladies we found out has cancer. Docs haven't given her the absolute certainty she's terminal yet, but I'm sure with her age and comorbidity, she's definitely going to be. Everyone has been very supportive, but we all know where this is going. She and I aren't very fond of each other, but I'm entirely professional and have expressed my feelings of sadness for her situation. Many of the hospital staff, nearly everyone in our depth, has donated paid leave for her to take time off and spend with her family. She used hers regularly and has almost none apparently, and possibly received treatment, except me. People have asked why I didn't, and I just don't want to. I feel like it's throwing it away for an outcome I'm all but certain will happen. I'm not saving it for any particular reason. People in her circle have started talking about how I'm not actually sympathetic to her situation and mumbling little things here and there. I usually just tell them straight up it's a waste for me to give it to someone who I don't believe will give them more time to live. Just spend what time you have left with family and friends, and be thankful for that. I'm unaware of her financial situation and frankly it doesn't concern me. Am I the asshole here?
Am I the asshole for slapping a teenager? I, 32 female, was at a water park this last weekend with my husband, 32 male, and my daughter. We were in one of the pools practicing swimming and keeping to ourselves. There was a group of teen boys there, and while I was working with my daughter on swimming, one of them came up behind me and I felt a tug on the strings of my top, untying it. I spun around, saw this 15 to 17-year-old with a smirk and slapped him. This quickly caused a scene. The park staff got involved, as well as the boys' parents who were livid at me. My wife and another lady saw it happen and confirmed that he really did grab my top. There was also a camera around the pool, but it wasn't the best angle of the incident. The boys' parents threatened assault charges, and I then threatened sexual assault charges if they decided to go that way. Eventually, we were both asked to leave, and I haven't heard anything since. My husband still thinks I overreacted a bit, which I don't. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for barging into an office and telling them to stop their fucking kid from opening our office door? So I work in an office building with different offices on each floor. Every afternoon, one of the ladies in a different office brings her kid and allow him to run up and down the halls, constantly opening and closing our door. Yesterday, I fucking had enough. I opened the door just as he slammed it, and I yelled at him to stop fucking opening and closing our door. I then barged into their office and told them I didn't know whose fucking kid that was, but they better make him stop opening and closing our fucking door. I then filed a complaint with building management. This morning, apparently, I'm the talk of their office. That's him. That's the man. Yes, it's fucking me, and maybe if you weren't such a useless fuck of a parent, maybe your bitch-ass kid wouldn't have gotten yelled at. This kid is at least 7 or 8 and should at least be taught some fucking common courtesy. I work in a law office while they're nothing but fucking telemarketers. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for slapping a teenager? I, 32 female, was at a water park this last weekend with my husband, 32 male, and my daughter. We were in one of the pools practicing swimming and keeping to ourselves. There was a group of teen boys there, and while I was working with my daughter on swimming, one of them came up behind me and I felt a tug on the strings of my top, untying it. I spun around, saw this 15 to 17-year-old with a smirk and slapped him. This quickly caused a scene. The park staff got involved, as well as the boys' parents who were livid at me. My wife and another lady saw it happen and confirmed that he really did grab my top. There was also a camera around the pool, but it wasn't the best angle of the incident. The boys' parents threatened assault charges, and I then threatened sexual assault charges if they decided to go that way. Eventually, we were both asked to leave, and I haven't heard anything since. My husband still thinks I overreacted a bit, which I don't. Am I the asshole?